Hey guys, today we're answering the question, does the carnivore diet work? Let's get into the research. So to answer the question whether or not the carnivore diet works, we need to first get into what actually is the carnivore diet, and the reality is there's not a genuine consensus. A lot of sources differ and there's different approaches to this diet. And so today we're going to look at Dr. Paul Saladino, one of the leading medical minds behind this lifestyle, this diet choice. And we're going to be examining his stance and how it might be different from some of the other carnivore options, carnivore diets out there. So let's get into it. So to clarify what the carnivore diet is in theory and in practice, let's get right into the specifics. Carnivore diet is the idea of eating meat either in totality or as the primary driver of your food consumption. And so a lot of people that are true or pure carnivorists are only eating meat, salt, some seasonings, but there's no carbs, there's no vegetables, there's no fruit. Probably the most famous person that I can think of off the top of my mind that's only eating meat is actually Jordan Peterson. And he's doing it in an effort to combat an autoimmune disease that runs in his family. And he has found that through only eating beef with no seasonings other than salt, for every single meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, he's been able to mitigate and actually fully put into remission his autoimmune disorder. So that's been fantastic for him. Obviously, there's a lot of people, including several people in my comment section and subscribers, that subscribe to a all-meat, true carnivore diet. I'm currently on that same diet plan. Until the 14th, I am eating strictly only meat and seasoning. There's no carbs, there's no sugar, there's no starch, there's no vegetables, there's no fruit, no milk, nothing. So I'm trying to get the full brutal experience. And on day 14, we're going to switch into what's called primal, snout to tail, modified carnivore might be another way to describe it. So let's break down what that is. Dr. Paul Saladino's approach to carnivore is a little bit different. He subscribes to the primal diet, and he actually has posted what that is and how to go about it and what his personal diet looks like on a daily basis. And it's carnivore with the addition of small amounts of fruit. He's allowing himself honey, he's allowing himself kefir, raw milk, other forms of carbohydrates because he lives an incredibly active lifestyle. Before being on this carnivorous diet, he was a vegan for a long time. He also runs ultra marathons and surfs daily. So he's a very physically active person. He's very physically fit, but he has decided to modify the strict carnivore diet into what he calls the primal diet. And he is pioneering this mentality, this idea of eating an animal snout to tail, or top to bottom, left to right, however you want to think about it, and that includes organ meat. Now, if you're like me and you hear the words organ meat, my thoughts immediately go to the Liver King. I'll meme on the Liver King all day, but the guy knows how to build a brand. Irregardless, that has nothing to do with this video. However, liver, heart, kidneys, these organs contain special nutrients and phytonutrients that regular muscle tissue, which is the majority of the meat that we eat in the American diet, is contractile tissue, muscle tissue. I had steak this morning. Great. That's not an organ, that's the muscle of the cow. And so when you get into eating organs, you're now exposing yourself to more nutrient-dense organ meat, as well as getting access to nutrients that are not available and bioavailable in just traditional meat. So it's super important that if you're going to try and get all of your nutritional needs from a carnivore or carnivore-adjacent diet, if you're not supplementing with supplements, minerals, vitamins, that you eat organ meat in some amount. I've had liver several times leading up to this diet, and I'm planning on implementing real liver into my diet. You can also get desiccated or pill form of all these different minerals, vitamins, and such from multiple places. So to answer the question, now that we've given enough context, does the carnivore diet work? Yes, the carnivore diet does work. If your goal is to lose weight, to reduce inflammation, and to reduce the amount of carbohydrates and processed foods in your diets, absolutely the carnivore diet is an effective and powerful tool to accomplish those goals. However, I do want to make a significant distinction in that any diet, if used correctly and following the right principles, can achieve similar results. What a diet is, or a weight loss tool is a way to help you lose weight and to achieve other goals. In a previous video, I said you need to outline the parameters of what success looks like for you on this diet. And that's exactly the case. If your goal is to lose weight, absolutely you can and probably will experience weight loss on the carnivore diet. If your goal is not to lose weight, it may just be a byproduct, or it may result in a failure of your goals and stipulations for this diet. And so for you guys to keep that in mind, like what losing weight or gaining weight really boils down to is, what are you eating and how much of it are you eating? If you're eating more calories than you're burning on a daily basis, and you do that over time, you're going to gain weight. And even if you're eating really high protein, high fat concentrated meat, and it's less than the amount of calories that you consume on a daily basis, you're going to lose weight, right? And the weight that you're going to lose first is going to be fat. And then eventually, if you continue down that path and you don't find a way to levelize or increase your intake of calories, you're going to start burning muscle and continue to lose weight until what you're consuming and what your exercise level and your lifestyle's caloric needs is met, and they equalize. And so, yes, the carnivore works if that's what you're trying to do. If that's not what you're trying to do, it may not be the right choice for you, and that's okay. So there you have it, guys. The answer to whether or not the carnivore works is, it depends. And it depends on the context and the frame that you're approaching this diet with and what your expectations are. But it can be very effective, and I do honestly recommend it, having now given it 11 days. I'm looking forward greatly to experiencing the primal version that Dr. Paul Saladino teaches and practices, where I get to eat some carbs, because it is high time for Ben to get some carbohydrates. But that's about it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, if you've watched it and made it this far, I appreciate you. I know I gave you a lot of context in this video, but it was to kind of, make a fully fleshed out point. So I appreciate you being here. If you're liking what you're seeing, please subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next video.